Urgent Celtic fan, a bombshell story has just broken that directly affects the club's financial future, a heavyweight battle for an individual award in European football and even the backstage workings of our much-talked-about scouting department, so make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and stay right to the end because every detail of this story can influence the boys' path in the next transfer windows. We are talking about a deal that could bring millions into Celtic's coffers, but which depends entirely on the performance of a foreign club in European competition, at the same time as one of our forwards fights for a major personal prize against a striker valued at £125 million and another top-level goalscorer. And as if this mix of money, prestige and goals was not enough, there is also an emotional goodbye behind the scenes, with one of the leading figures in the scouting structure closing a 6-year chapter of success in Glasgow to embrace a new challenge at another British club. That is why, Celtic supporter, you need to pay close attention to every piece of information, leave plenty of comments below saying what you would do if you were sitting in the boardroom, and share this video with that friend who has followed the club for decades and loves to know everything that happens on and off the pitch. Stay with me until the end because we will break down the financial side, the sporting impact and what this departure in the scouting department might mean for the future of our signings, always with the sharp eye of someone who lives and breathes Celtic every single day. Palma, who lost his place in the Celtic first-team plans after slipping down the pecking order in attack, is currently on a season-long loan at Lech Poznan after also spending the second half of last campaign at Olympiacos, and now his future could translate into a very useful windfall for the Glasgow club. The Honduran winger has rediscovered a good part of his best form in Poland, registering 6 goals and 6 assists in 23 matches in all competitions, numbers that show that with confidence and minutes on the pitch there is still a player there who can decide games and increase his market value in European football. Lech Poznan have put together a decent run in the revamped Conference League group stage, picking up 6 points from their first 4 games, which gives them a real chance of reaching the playoff round, even though they currently sit 4 points behind Ekstraklasa leaders Wisła Płock and only 1 point off the European places in the league table. According to reports in Poland, the club will only be able to afford the fee of around €4.5 million, roughly £3.9 million, to buy Palma outright in the summer if they secure European football for the start of next season, which turns every match into a serious test not only for Lech, but also for Celtic's financial planning. From Celtic's perspective, this potential sale would represent a solid return on a player who never fully nailed down a starting spot in Glasgow, but who still holds a market and can help to fund new reinforcements or balance the books in a context where maximum demands are placed on all fronts. At the same time, another positive storyline is unfolding alongside Palma's, this one involving Benjamin Nygren, a forward who arrived at the Bhoys from Nordsjælland for less than £2 million in one of those deals that appear quiet at the time but can pay off hugely on the pitch. In Denmark, Nygren had scored 16 goals in 32 matches last season, and in Glasgow he has already begun to make his mark with 7 goals in his first 25 appearances in the green and white, showing a real nose for goal, clever movement and a quick adaptation to the intense style of Scottish football. That form has earned him a nomination from the Swedish FA for the Forward of the Year award, and he will be competing for the trophy with none other than Alexander Isak, the £125 million striker lighting up the Premier League, and Victor Gyökeres, a prolific frontman shining for Arsenal, which shows the level of respect Nygren has already built up in his home country. For Celtic fans, seeing one of our attackers mentioned in the same breath as names of that calibre is a source of pride and a sign that the club continues to identify players with room to grow, international standing and the potential to deliver both on the pitch and in future transfer negotiations. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you believe Nygren can, in a short period of time, become one of the team's main men and maybe even be sold one day for a fee far higher than what Celtic paid, just as we have seen in other recent cases? While we look at the present and future on the pitch, there is also an important development of it, with Jay Lefevre saying goodbye to Celtic after 6 years at the club, a spell in which he was part of a very successful era in terms of trophies and also record-breaking player sales. In a heartfelt farewell message, he recalled that it had been 6 years, 12 trophies, and 2 record player sales in Celtic's history, with those players recruited during a period when he was leading the scouting and recruitment department on an interim basis under the guidance of Ange Postecoglou and the wider technical and executive team. Lefevre highlighted his pride at having helped to build a modern department, with advanced statistical methods, robust analysis processes and a way of identifying players who fit the club's recruitment model, something many supporters may not see directly, but which influences every signing that appears in the headlines. He now begins a new chapter as chief scout of Swansea City, taking with him the experience gathered at Celtic, while the Glasgow club faces the challenge of maintaining the same level of rigour and accuracy in upcoming transfer windows, even with a key piece of that machinery moving on. For us, there is a mixture of gratitude for the work done and anticipation about how the club will reorganise that area, all while keeping an eye on whether Palma can generate that extra income and whether Nygren can turn his nomination into an award and, who knows, even more prominence in the starting 11. So, Celtic fan, tell us in the comments below. Would you cash in and sell Palma permanently if the money comes in? Do you believe Nygren can become a future big money sale? And are you worried about Lefevre leaving the scouting department, or confident that the structure he helped to build is strong enough to keep hitting the mark with new signings? In the end, we are looking at a combination of financial decisions, individual recognition, and structural change that shows how Celtic are moving on several fronts at once to remain both competitive and sustainable. It is now up to the board to manage this potential Palma windfall wisely, support Nygren so that he continues to grow, and ensure that the scouting operation remains modern and efficient even after the departure of such an important figure in that process. And of course, if you have made it this far, do not forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel and share this content with another passionate supporter, because we will carry on following every step the boys take, on and off the pitch.